customers in over 230 countries, over 900 members of staff, and athletes in basically every country, Gymshark has become absolutely massive since 2012. Ben Francis founded Gymshark in 2012, and since then it's become an empire. All of this success comes with a lot of pressure, and the last couple of years have been interesting for them, to say the least. I did a video on Gymshark about 2 years ago, and I discussed all the things that I thought were kind of a bit of a mess up on their behalf. What was once a brand that was for powerlifters, bodybuilders, people that were gym obsessed, had become something that really wasn't that at all. They were jumping on every trend imaginable, BLM, body positivity, feminism, but they weren't really standing for them because everything else was saying something quite different. And if you want to watch that video, I'll make sure to link it below. 2023 is looking pretty different for them. I mean, I don't know if you've seen, but David Lade has been given the title of Creative Director of Lifting, whatever that means. But ever since he's announced that, I've kind of been looking at Gymshark a little bit more. And I am noticing some big changes. If you don't know who David Lade is, you've probably been living under a rock, but he has like over 3 million followers on Instagram, over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. He is like a Gymshark OG. And he did a video announcing that he'd got this new title and he was going to impact the athletes that were going to be part of Gymshark.
Athletes that are going to be joining Gymshark, I'm going to be overseeing a massive degree of that procedure.
And looking at Gymshark now, there have been some real noticeable changes. He was saying how much he kind of misses the old Gymshark, the motivation it gave him, the community it had. And I'm not sure, I can't state that for a fact it's him making this impact, but ever since he's made that announcement, and ever since I've looked into them further, it does look like there's been changes made. And you also have Ben Francis going on podcasts saying things like this.
But then again, I also see other people, again without naming names, that come from a completely different industry and then started talking about politics, and I think just stay in your lane, like you don't know what you're talking about.
Which is very different to 2 years ago when I last did a video when he was saying things like this.
Not enough education in terms of what was going on in the US, particularly heading into the US election. What are the topics, what are the things that Gymshark should and shouldn't get involved in?
For me, it feels like they've had a bit of an awakening. It's like they were targeting the masses. They were doing leisure wear for people that never go to the gym. They were doing crop tops for men, which if you go into a gym and ask any bodybuilder, powerlifter, any guy that's in the gym if they want to be wearing a crop top, I promise you about 99% of them would say, I'm all right. But they were creating so many products that were meant to be for everyone, rather than niching down and focusing on who their core audience actually were. But now, if you look at their Instagram feed, it looks very different to what it was. A couple of years ago, it was supporting a lot of political movements. It was kind of jumping on trends. Now, if you look at it, it kind of looks more like the original Gymshark. It's full of athletes, it's full of people actually in a gym. It's full of people that look healthy and strong and maybe on steroids, but that is Gymshark, what they used to be. These massive athletes, these massive bodybuilders, powerlifters, these impressive physiques, so that people would put on Gymshark clothes and feel good and feel like they were gonna get to that point, feel like they were gonna be healthier, better in the gym. And I saw a really interesting comment on YouTube and I spent ages trying to find it, but I couldn't anywhere. It was on one of my videos. And he basically said, I wore whatever gym clothes I wanted, but I always waited to buy Gymshark. I wanted to buy Gymshark clothes when I felt I had the body that I was proud of, because he was severely obese. And I thought that was so interesting because that reminds me of the beginning of Gymshark. The idea that you want to put on those clothes and feel proud to wear them. Their Instagram feed looks different. Their website looks different. It's more focused on the gym, and their products are different. They're doing pre-workouts, they're doing lifting straps. They actually have clothes that you'd want to wear to a gym, not for just casual attire. But finally, their athletes are kind of looking different. And I spoke about this in my last video. I was saying that they started off with, they hand-selected athletes to be part of the Gymshark community. But now, because they want to reach the masses, they were signing absolutely anyone that had an audience that was fitness-related. However, I got a DM from someone yesterday, and she was a ex-Gymshark athlete, but very recently. She got dropped from Gymshark. And the reason they dropped her is because they said she wasn't an athlete, which I found fascinating, because that basically means they're doing what I thought they were doing. They're going back to their roots. They only want athletes that are actual athletes. They're not looking for just influencers. And obviously, I can't say, maybe they've just dropped 100 athletes, which with the amount of influencers they're working with, that is nothing. But maybe they're gonna go back to their roots and focus on people that are actually athletes, people that inspire you. And it doesn't matter what sport they do, it doesn't matter how much they lift, but they are athletes through and through. They've started hosting powerlifting competitions. They have more of their events at their space, which is more focused on lifting. Everything just looks so different. So what does this mean? It means that they're going more niche. It means that they're going back to their roots. I've said that so many times now. It's hard to say, but it definitely looks like it's going in that direction. I'm not sure what shook them, whether it was sales, whether it was so much media attention whenever they jumped on a political trend, or whether it was David Lade. But it looks like they're going in a different direction. For me, I'm pretty happy with that. I used to buy Gymshark clothes all the time, but I hadn't even stepped into a gym yet. Now I'm so into my fitness, I'm so into the gym, and I don't think to buy Gymshark. I still wear all my leggings that I have in my cupboard because why would I buy new ones when they're perfectly fine? But I'm not invested in the brand at all. Whereas now I'm kind of a little bit interested. However, I'm very interested to see how this impacts sales. So they were creating for the masses. They wanted to create for people that had never been to the gym, that were just starting in the gym, that were gym obsessed. And they had content for all of those people and clothes for all those people, products for absolutely everyone. And the athletes they had represented everyone. The content they put out represented everyone. So now if they go down this more niche path, will that mean their sales drop? It's hard to say. However, I for one think that if they go in the direction I hope they're going in, then I would actually invest in their products because it feels like more of a community and it feels like a real community rather than just having absolutely everyone involved. But that is also just my opinion. I would love to know your opinion in the comments. Let me know whether you think Gymshark is changing, whether you think those changes are a good thing, a bad thing. Let me know in the comments. And if you haven't watched my old video, make sure to check it out because then you'll be able to see how big these changes actually are. Give it a like if you like the video and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one.